What is going on, guys? Samuel Wolf from Samuel Productions here, back with another tier list for you today. As for today, I'm now going to be ranking every Star Wars movie and show I've seen. Yeah, this tier list is going to kind of update ranking on all those Star Wars stuff since they have gotten a few more shows since then, so I figured why not do a tier list where I talk about Star Wars? Again, I love Star Wars. I'm much the next guy. Obviously, sometimes don't have the best track record, especially recently. So this is gonna be an interesting ranking. So I hope you'll enjoy. Always is my personal opinion. I would love to know how you would rank in the tier list all the Star Wars movies and shows down below in the comments. I would do like a lightsaber thing, but I don't even know what a lightsaber is honestly. So, anyways, let's get started, shall we? Okay, guys, let's talk about Star Wars. I got all the movies and shows. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 23 movies and shows to talk about. Talk about like 12 movies and 11 shows. Yep. And you see I got different tiers for all this stuff. I have the Golden Jedi Medal, which is basically, of course, the top tier category. The Woody Jedi, which is great to amazing. The good, the mid-decent, bad, and Trainwreck. And it's only like 6 tiers for Star Wars, so hope you'll enjoy this ranking. So let's get straight into it, talking about Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. A film that basically everyone was hyped for and everything, and it led to the Phantom Menace thing where basically people denied that it was bad and it actually ended up being bad, and yeah, I really didn't care for Phantom Menace. I tried to see this movie was good, because the prequels do have their defenders, but I just can't, not one of those, unfortunately. Again, I probably talked some of this when I did my box office tier list, but I really did not like Phantom Menace. Like, honestly, again, Jar Jar Binks, the boob jokes, the lack of character development, the terrible acting, the CGI. Like, the only genuine figures were the acting from Ian McGregor and Liam Neeson, and after they had to play Darth Maul, but he was good as well, despite him obviously not being really developed, and thankfully he gets much better development than other shows. Thankful on that. And of course, that final battle is definitely one of the best lightsaber battles in the history of Star Wars. But it's going in the bad Jedi, bad tier. Bad Jedi, bad. And now we get to Attack of the Clones, which, of all the movies, this is might be the worst. Like, again, I really hate I really hate Attack of the Clones, honestly. It doesn't really have much positive I can really say. I mean, aside from some of the good performances from the cast, and the occasional good action sequence, but again, Hayden Christensen's whiny, that forced freaking romance they did with Padme, and that's just, oh my god, it's so cringy, so just, I even kind of do get that interesting, but yeah, thankfully he actually becomes a much more developed character in the actual shows. Like, yeah, he actually is good. Yeah, it's good in that show, but here not so much. They even found that was like interesting. Then the Yoda actually finally would be interesting, but nope. So yeah, it's going in the Trainwreck category. Trainwreck. Now we get to Revenge of the Sith, which I think I've always really dug and enjoyed growing up, but I still really do actually. It definitely is the good prequel movie. It's the prequel movie that is the good and the most fun, at least the most enjoyable. Again, you still have that incredibly pretty dialogue in the previous 2 movies, and you still have some of the Force lines and everything in this movie, but he still gets some questionable character decisions, but that just was something, again, I've always really enjoyed, from the action to some of the good characters to some of the surprising moments. That final battle with Obi-Wan and Anakin that I've always loved, honestly. Honestly, especially with the pure emotion in that scene. And Hayden Christensen definitely is a somewhat better actor here. Still has his moments, but I'm opening alone, this film is easily much better than the previous one, so I'm putting it in the lightsaber fun category. And we need based on the release date, so we have the Clone Wars animated movie, and yeah, it's going in the bad Jedi bad category. Bad Jedi, bad. not much I'm gonna say about it, honestly. It's probably the most forgettable Star Wars movie out there. I've only seen it like one time and I don't never saw it again. It's like, do you even remember this movie even came out? Yeah. Now we get to the film that started it all 45 years, almost 45, around 45 years later. Damn, 45 years since the first Star Wars movie came out. Wow. Jesus. Wow, I can't believe it. And what I need to say, it's going in the Golden Age. It's one of my favorite movies. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. It still hits every chord and every emotion, and it's the perfect definition of a sci-fi perfect story with fantastic characters, great developments, just a fantastic action movie that has fun, entertainment, but some great heart and emotion. And of course, it blew up and made this franchise as popular as it is today. And I'll say the same for the sequel, The Empire Strikes Back, which, if most of you know, is actually my favorite movie of all time, actually. I'm debating a couple movies on that, but as of right now, it still is my favorite movie of all time. So obviously, it's going in the Golden Jacket. You're like, what can I say about the movies that I've already been saying? And The Empire Strikes Back is one of the movies that basically takes what made the first one so great and just expands on it. It's a lot more darker, a lot more mature, still taking that fun and heart of the previous movie. Like, it's a definition of how you do a sequel right. What else do I need to say about Empire Strikes Back? Exactly. And then we get to Return of the Jedi, which was definitely not as good as the first two movies, considering that it does have some questionable moments here and there, and some questionable CGI here, and everything, and some. I still always love Return of the Jedi. It definitely is a fitting. It definitely still is a fitting and worthy finale of this trilogy. So while it's definitely not in the golden category, it still is a worthy Jedi category. I still love Return of the Jedi. I still love coming back to this movie despite its problems. And then we get to Star Wars The Force Awakens, the film that basically rejuvenized the Star Wars franchise after many years. And despite, a lot of questionable things that happened in the next two movies, at least how they were handled, I've always loved The Force Awakens. I've always adored this movie. And it's definitely one of the most rewatchable Star Wars movies in my opinion. 7 years later, it still is, honestly. Despite the fact that it doesn't really fulfill a lot of the questions that were people were crapping on this movie and everything, on the fan theories and everything. And again, in some ways, it can be kind of similar to A New Hope. I'm not denying that, but it does do a great job with taking those elements and doing it in a more different way. And I still have a blast with this movie, and it's how it's going in the Golden Jacket category. Now we get to Rogue One. Rogue One. Again, a film that basically has unfortunately some interesting characters here, and does have some pacing issues here and there, but you do get some great involved characters here, some really great moments, and a third act that really displays the war in Star Wars. So, it's going in the lightsaber film category. I put it a bit above Majestic, because I think it's a little more rewatchable than that. Yeah, I think Majestic is a little more rewatchable actually, but Rogue One is still a really good movie. Definitely not as high as I was when I first saw it, but it's still a damn good movie. Then we get to, oh boy, The Last Jedi. Probably one of the most divisive movies, or divisive anything in recent memory. Like, I remember when this movie came out, I remember the discourse with this movie and a lot of the decisions that it made with certain characters. And again, it's fine if you think that. It's fine if you think this movie committed character assassination on Luke Skywalker, a lot of these characters, and a lot of the questionable moments that happens, and you think this was terrible and everything like that. But just don't be a dick about it, because I see some people be like assholes to other people that actually love this movie, and even assholes to the director and even the people involved. It's got to the point where basically some of the actors end up on social media at one point. And they shit the director on his birthday. Yeah, but where should I do all of that? No, well, you probably was if you saw my last video, but I love Last Jedi. To this day, I still love it. I still think most ones still a tad bit better because of rewatchability, but I actually admire the risk that this movie takes, and I think it actually works very well in my opinion. Again, it definitely isn't a perfect movie by any means. I'm not saying it's like a masterpiece or anything, but I adore this, that it tries to do something different. I think it actually works on things it does different. I like Rose as a character. Yes, I do like Rose as a character. I don't think she's as terrible as she tried to be. And it's a shame that she got shafted by Skywalker. Skywalker, I didn't mind what they did with Finn here. Again, Rey was so great, and her scenes with Kylo Ren were fantastic. I actually really admire everything they did with Luke Skywalker here, and I think a lot of stuff it does actually does make sense. And you get some fantastic action sequences, especially with that throne scene in the final battle, and I don't know, and it definitely is the most gorgeous looking Star Wars movie. Again, it's fine if you did not like this movie, honestly, because if you did not like the rest. Again, I see some people that actually don't dismiss the people that actually love this movie, actually, and I admire those people for that. And I'm one of the people that does love it, so it's going in the Gold Jedi Minute category. Then we get to Solo, the Star Wars story. I don't think anyone's asking for an actual Han Solo movie, and this is probably one of the movies I've come back to. I've only seen this movie like twice, honestly, and it's definitely one of the more forgettable Star Wars movies, honestly. I mean, Alden Ehrenreich is definitely good as the character, in my opinion, and Don Glover easily steals the show as Lando, and I definitely like Han Solo scenes with Chewbacca. You do get some good action here, and I even like Emilia Clarke's character as well, but there's not really much interesting here in terms of story and other stuff that happens here, and the fact that they don't really continue this kind of amplifies that, so I'm putting in, it's the first one going in the mid-decent Jedi category. Not bad movie by any means. I don't think it's like a disaster or something making out to be, but it's definitely, but again, it could have been worse though. And then we get to, oh boy, The Rise of Skywalker. A film that should have been just an incredible, epic endgame finale. Like, this film was pretty much, like, this film is kind of basically the Avengers Endgame of Star Wars. The fact that no one closed out this trilogy, but the entire Skywalker saga as a whole, and they decided to pander to people that hated The Last Jedi, and just retcon, like, pretty much literally everything involving that movie. And the best they decided to do was just selling just Mad Palpatine, which I am still hate that they did that, especially since that kind of lessens the impact of the finale in Return of the Jedi, which one that actually was originally one of my favorites, and well, it still is one of my favorite moments, and it's dropped down incredibly in my Star Wars moments ranking, and my top 10 moments of Star Wars. And again, there's still fun to be had in this movie. There's still some fun, good character moments. There's still some good action sequences here and there. I thought if someone actually tweaked a little more, it actually could have been a really emotional and gut punch of a movie, and some moments could actually have been more satisfying. Again, there's still enough fun to where I don't actually, hate the movie, but it's going in the mid-decent category. I actually was a little more high on this movie than most people, but it definitely has dropped upon rewatch. Sorry. And that's all the Star Wars movies. And that's all of the Star Wars movies I would rank. Now we get to these shows, which I have watched. Obviously, again, 11 shows to rank. Hope you guys enjoyed this tier list so far. Now we have the Clone Wars Micro Series. Which I had not watched in a while, but look back on it, I remember watching this a lot when it was first airing, and it's still as good as my I don't think it really holds up the best because of, what else Star Wars content we got, but I think it's still worthy of being in the worthy Jedi category. Then we get to the actual Clone Wars show, which it's a very interesting show to rank. I think it's really one of those shows that I think, like, personally, Star Wars Clone Wars is one of those shows that I think gets better and better and better upon every season. Not saying it was never bad or anything, but the first couple seasons were definitely rough around the edges in some areas. But I think once it continues to go on with some certain characters and some certain episodes, and when it starts to really develop the clones and the actual Jedis, and you get some really interesting storylines with these people. Stuff actually they did a good job to make you feel more connected with these characters that were kind of just nothing characters in the prequel trilogy, and now they're fully fleshed out characters as well. And while obviously the prequel and some of the characters were not going to die, you still get some pretty tense-filled moments here throughout this trilogy. throughout this trilogy. You get some pretty tons of emotional, especially in season 6 and 7, and even season 5. You get some pretty emotional moments here. I think animation is really well done. I think it's also something else has gotten better and what I think what they do. I think it's so good. And it's funny how Ahsoka became a character that was kind of whiny in the first season. I'm not sure nobody like Ahsoka from the movie and even like the first season of Clone Wars. And now Ahsoka's started to be one of the best, if not the best Star Wars character out there, and starting to see why. Considering the growth that she's had throughout this show and all the development that she has. Like, Ahsoka is definitely now a top tier Star Wars character, and you get some fantastic action sequences, even some really heartfelt and emotional moments. They're kind of like, this is basically kind of like fixes a lot of the issues with the prequel trilogy by actually, making some moments feel a lot more sense. If that makes any sense. No more sense, but I was better when I put in the old Jedi camp where the Way Jedi, but I think there's enough highs to where it's going in the Gold Jedi category. Yes. Star Wars Rebels. But I think I did watch it for the first time. I think around 2018, 2019, and I didn't even review all the seasons. And it's not one of the shows I think gets better the more it goes along. I think season 1 was still a good season, but didn't really do well to stick itself within Star Wars. But season 2 and 3 of top tier Star Wars seasons. And season 4 I think is a great season, but I don't think it really hits the best. So I was thinking when I put this in the Woody, I think for this show, it's because now I'm going to put it in the Woody Jedi category. I think it's still a fantastic Star Wars show, honestly. And I definitely do recommend checking it out, honestly. I'm pretty sure nobody was excited for this, honestly, but I think it's actually worth a watch, honestly. Personally, I think it really is worth a watch. Then we get to Star Wars Resistance. Yeah, this is my opinion, it's the worst Star Wars show, in my opinion. The animation is kind of crap, honestly. Honestly, and now the characters weren't really that interesting or compelling. And it could have been an interesting show, since it's one of the other shows that took place like after the original trilogy. And focused on Poe Dameron and crew, but they just didn't really do anything interesting with this show. That's, again, it's one that we'll forget at once, so there's not much I can to say about it. Sorry. Then get to The Mandalorian. Pretty much at the time, the only reason to get a Disney Plus account. Honestly, and looking back on the show, yeah, I freaking love Mandalorian, honestly. I still think this is a top tier Star Wars show, in my opinion. I think from the first episode alone, I knew it was going to be a success, and for me, it's always been a success from the first 2 seasons. Even with some of the fan servicing moments, I still was connected with the story and the characters. Grogu's a great protagonist, some of the characters you meet here as well are great and developed. The action scenes are great, the storytelling is great. And personally, I definitely cannot wait for what to do with season 3. So yeah, it's going top tier, yes. The Bad Batch. Don't get to the Bad Batch. First, I think it's a solid season, honestly. It wasn't that never really gripped me, or it was a season that unfortunately never really gripped me, honestly, mostly because of how many episodes there were, and they developed some of the characters here. And as I'm feeling it, season 2 is still on board, and I've seen a few of those episodes, and I'd say it's kind of faces some of the issues with that. Honestly, so it's, as of right now, the Bad Batch is going in the lightsaber fun category. It could up to Woody Jedi by the end of the season, but as of right now, I think it's set right on this category. It's still a show I still recommend you watch. And I would say the same thing with Star Wars Vision, and basically an anime town Star Wars. Well, some stories are definitely better than others, honestly, but it's definitely a unique thing to do with Star Wars, and I'm definitely curious to see what to do with season 2, so kind of the same way, so I'm also putting it in the lightsaber fun category. Now we get to 4 of the recent Star Wars shows that came out last year. First up, we have The Book of Boba Fett. The Book of Boba Fett. Why is so pointless this show was? Considering, you have freaking Boba Fett here, and they don't really do anything interesting with Boba Fett. In fact, he's kind of a boring character here. I don't think this movie feels like a disaster, honestly, but it's kind of a not interesting show either. Well, I do think it does have good moments here and there, and of course you get 2 great episodes that are pretty much like Mandalorian 2.5 episodes. So that's so weird to take in We get 2 episodes where Boba Fett really isn't the focus of its own show. But it's, as of right now, I'm gonna put it in the mid-decent Jedi category. And I know it's a bad show. I think there are some good moments here as well. They do get some fun, good episodes, especially despite them being kind of Mandalorian focused episodes. But I think for it does, you do get some really good moments here. I just wish that Boba Fett himself was actually a more compelling protagonist. Now we go to Obi-Wan Kenobi. But a show I actually really enjoyed it, actually. I actually wasn't disappointed at all in this show, actually. I know some people were like massively disappointed with this show, because, Obi-Wan Kenobi was a very hyped show at the time. Honestly, this is one of the things that everyone really wanted, and originally it was going to be like a movie trilogy, but decided to change it into like a mini-series. Or you might get a second season, who the hell freaking knows. But looking back on it, I actually really did enjoy this show. I still honestly do really enjoy Obi-Wan Kenobi, actually. Well, yes, it does have stupid moments and some silly type of moments as well. I'm not saying the show's obviously perfect. I just for what they're trying to... Honestly, seeing Ewan McGregor play this character again was fantastic. Seeing him what he had to go through and everything, and all the stuff that he had to deal with throughout. Honestly, and he get a fantastic film. And I kind of like his relationship with Leia throughout the show, honestly, and how that relationship kind of develops. Honestly, and of course, and you can see Darth Vader go full on rage mode here, like full on God mode here, and you get some of the baddest moments that Darth Vader has ever had. And that final fight, I easily elevated this show, honestly, because that fight is definitely one of the best lightsaber fights in the history of Star Wars, in my opinion, and has one of the most emotional moments in recent Star Wars history, honestly. Despite some of the silly moments, honestly, and some episodes kind of do feel like moments do kind of feel like filler. And I'm still not sure how I feel about the Inquisitor character here. I think it's still enough highs to where I'm actually going to put it in the worthy Jedi category. So I'm not sure how probably it's going to be, but here we are. But now we get to the last 2 Star Wars shows. Next we have Tales of the Jedi, which basically is a 6-episode short series that basically defines 3 certain characters here as well. And then you got some on Stoka, Qui-Gon, and Count Dooku. And for what it is, it's simple fun. You get to get more development with these characters, you get more interesting things with these characters. And I think it works for what it had to do, so... I'm actually going to put in a lightsaber fun category, because I don't think that's like mind-blowing or anything, but I still think it's still a great show. Really good show, and I can't always see what to do more of this show down the road. But speaking of mind-blowing, we have the final show on this list, and that is Andor. A show that I'm pretty sure nobody was looking forward to, nobody was interested in, because it's a character now from Rogue One now. It's hard to develop and end up dying in that movie, so I'm pretty sure nobody was looking forward to the show as supposed to be good. Considering obviously, Star Wars, some people have kind of got downgraded, but somehow, and I mean somehow, Andor, in just 12 episodes, it actually is the best Star Wars show out there. Yes, this actually is the best Star Wars show. And I'm still as shocked as you guys. I'm pretty sure everybody was shocked at this show and ended up being as incredible and mind-blowing as it was. Because one thing, again, it does something different in Star Wars. It's a lot more darker and mature than your typical Star Wars show. It's not really like a fun space adventure show, honestly. It's more political, more mature, more going to themes that you wouldn't expect Star Wars to go. Trying out Andor's actually a compelling character this time around, and even some of the new characters you get introduced here are fantastic. Where it actually develops relationships here, actually naturally develops them, and you can get some good action when it's there. But the storytelling really is, it's a lot more slow than your typical Star Wars show, but I think that's what makes it more interesting and compelling. And somehow, just this one season, 12 episodes, it manages to be, in my opinion, the best Star Wars show that we have gotten so far. I can't believe it either. Nobody I'm sure was not expecting that, but here you are. better than Andor, you are my favorite Star Wars show, and I can't wait to see how you end with season 2. And that's a tier list, and that is the tier list for you guys today. As you see how we rank here, I would say Attack of the Clones would be last place at 23, Resistance 22, The Clone Wars Animated Show 21, Phantom Menace at 20, The Book of Boba Fett 20 and 19, Skywalker 18, Solo 17, Rogue One 16, Richardson 15, Bad Batch 14, Bitches 13, 12 the Jedi 12, Obi-Wan Kenobi 11, Return of the Jedi 10, The Clone Wars Micro Series 9, Rebels 8, The Clone Wars Series at 7, Last Jedi 6, Force Awakens 5, The Mandalorian 4, Andor 3, New Hope 2, and of course, again, Episode Requiem being number 1. Well, I hope you all enjoyed this ranking for you guys. I would love to know how you guys will rank all the Star Wars stuff down below in the comments. I have a lot more tier lists coming very soon. Hope you guys have been enjoying these tier lists so far. And thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Peace, and stay cool, everybody. Peace.